Look in my eyes for my mind state. I'm on the grind 25-8. Money on my mind, that's how I play. If you got it now, this what I say. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait.
A day late but no dollar short. We are here at the Swerve City Podcast live. We said Wednesday, but you know how this job can be.
Yeah.
You know how this entertainment business can be.
Unpredictable. Incredibly unpredictable.
But we still came through like we promised, like we do in the Swerve City Podcast. Boom, check it out. Here we are, episode 9. It's Isaiah Swerve Scott himself. We got
Teasy Scott, what's good, y'all? At Teasy Scott on everything social media.
And we got Miss
Big Swole, the Big Swole on Instagram, and Swole's World on Twitter.
Bam.
Bam.
Before we get into it, we gotta say what's up to Around Seattle. Thank you for all the sponsorship, all the help that you provide with us with these curtains, this banner. We got new light fixtures up in here. This used to be Desmond Xavier's room, but I stole that. I kicked him out. Said, yo,
Get out of here.
I told him we was gonna make a studio. And that's what we did. That's one of my big dreams for like the past 2 years with this show. I was like, I'm going to turn this into a studio. And sure enough, here we are. And it's coming along nicely. And more things to come. More things to come for sure. Before we get into the guest of the evening, the NXT champion, Mr. Adam Cole, baby.
That's right. I was hoping you were going to say the baby.
I can't say your name without saying baby. You know, it's kind of what we do here. We got to go through what we did in the past 2 weeks because we film every other week. So
cool.
A lot's happened, you know. I had my vacation, seen my kids. My oldest daughter turned 10.
Wow.
September 5th.
Congratulations.
I am the father of a 10-year-old.
That's a two-handed. How old am I? 10.
Double digits.
That's big.
And my mom got her a phone.
A phone?
And I texted her today to say hi. She's like, I was like, you did homework, right? Yes, I did. Okay. That's our conversation. So, yeah.
An iPhone.
A 10-year-old and a
What a
soon-to-be
gift.
8-year-old.
God, what a gift for a 10-year-old. Huh?
Right.
10-year-old.
I got a
I got our
Nokia.
basketball. My
I
mom
got a Nokia where I could play Snake at 13.
Yeah.
I didn't get a
phone
at
15. Remember that cell phone with the little mirror on the front of it?
Yeah.
Does anyone remember that? Like a little circle mirror. It was the smallest phone
Juke.
you've ever seen.
It was like a juke.
Yeah,
What
right.
was the one that slid up? You had to slide it up to...
Was that a razor? Is that what that was?
Razor was a
Razor?
little
What was
thing.
Razor?
For
No.
Verizon chocolate, is that what it
Okay.
is?
Chocolate.
The chocolate.
I did not like the chocolate.
I had one of those.
I like the
You were the
chocolate.
razor or you were the chocolate? And I did not
Razor,
like the chocolate.
cool.
Yeah.
Sidekick, cool.
First time I ever dealt with touchscreen, though, I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to text.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Not
Like,
a chance.
it's
That's
like,
a
oh,
fact.
no, they
And
like
then
the
you get used
vibrating
to it.
on your fingers.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
used to
too
it.
much
Like,
glass on this phone. I
Right.
like this.
Right.
Right.
So, Teasy, what you been up to, bro?
Man, I've been working, man. Just getting up content, man. Putting up content. Doing some music videos to a lot of the themes that I've made.
Did another video, too.
Sweet.
Got a couple more lined up, so they're all going to be... I'm putting them in rotation, kind of in rotation how I'm doing it. But, just bringing up content, man. Building up content. There's going to be some vlogs that I'm shooting. Going to be a lot of behind-the-scenes things about, my career and stuff that I've been doing over these past 6 years in the game. So there's going to be a lot of content I've been doing. So I've really just been getting to work, man. I've really just been getting to work trying to get my content and get everything lined up. Get a lot of videos and stuff set. My son actually has a 9th birthday coming up. So
Right behind me?
Wow.
yeah, so I feel you, man. It's about time to get him a phone.
Let's see. The difference is he said son.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
10-year-old daughter.
that's scary.
I'm
Mind-blowing.
Terrifying.
Mind-blowing.
And it lives in Lancaster, too.
Oh, yeah.
So
Our home.
We're going to get back into that later on.
Yes,
so
of
check
course.
that out. Swole,
Huh?
we got to talk about what you've been up to.
Hold up.
Pull up.
Reverse my hair thing right here.
Right here, right here.
What I've been up to?
Mm-hmm.
I've been having good weekends.
A little bit of this,
A
a
little
little
bit
bit of
of
that.
this, a little bit of that. A little bit of going to see stars, a little bit of casting lines. A little bit of that. Been popping big women in battle royals.
True.
Making like 20,000.
Right, making a name for myself. Very shocking.
Yeah, I heard that's Swole's world champ.
Right, it was something
I was
else.
like, we was looking. Look at God.
Look at God.
Look at God.
Look at God. I almost was like, wait a minute, but I couldn't let it show. I was like, all right, we got a job to do. Because I heard it throughout all the wrestling noise. That's all you hear is wrestling noise. So I was just like, oh, they chanting for me? And I was like, yeah, girl. Bam. I was like, oh, look. That's pretty much the conversation we had in the middle of the whole move. So, yeah.
It's crazy how much time slows down when you're in moments like that.
Right.
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
I had my first title defense, though. I was really good for
Talk
Rise.
about that for a second.
It was actually against Dementia Double D Rose.
Yep, she's dope.
Yeah, she's real dope. I really wanted it to be against a woman of color because I just have like a heart for that. Like I just want my girls to succeed, want us to succeed, and I just believe that there should be more than one person allowed at the top at one time. And that's just always been the rule. You know, so there's no one been at the top since Athena left. Or Ember Moon, that everybody knows her by now. So I was just like, it was something felt good. He was at the Eagles, Berwyn Eagles Club. So he just made a little bit of history.
That's awesome.
We're going to make history again. We're main eventing Shimmer. It's me and Nicole Savoy, Little Swole, versus the Shimmer Tag Team Champions, Mercedes Martinez and Melissa, Cheerleader Melissa.
That's big.
So yeah, so it's like all women of color stacked up in this thing. So yeah, it's that first time main eventing Shimmer. Yeah,
that's great.
I wrestled her. She's probably one of my favorite women I've ever wrestled.
Shout out Cheerleader
Melissa. But yes.
Oh, that's what you got to wrestle her. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had a banger. Her whew.
That's great.
Right?
She did the throw all the chairs on you type thing.
Yeah.
And she was launching them things. Launching them like slingshots.
Chairs are no fun, which it's just random, but it cracks me up the perception that chairs, they can't hurt that bad. It's known as the generic wrestling weapon, and they're maybe my least favorite wrestling weapon. They hurt so bad.
People see how easily they bend, but I'm like, you don't understand how hard your body is. Them things, people swing them, they will bend.
Right.
Like that. But they fold over a human head. It's not supposed to.
Bruh, I have a New York street fight next week, and I'm just like,
stay away from chairs.
Yeah, for the Shine tag team.
By the way, y'all killed that promo. Y'all killed that.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. You know,
think the whole thing.
You know, when two or more join together, that's what the Lord say.
Right.
The Lord knows. So, without further ado, we are going to move on to WWE NXT World Champion Adam Cole, baby. What's going on?
You know it's serious when I'm doing a double thumb point to myself.
But you do the one thumb.
I know. I do that. But for this one,
the boom.
I'm doing the double boom, just like that. What's going on, man?
Man, so much to get into.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start with this whole thing. First of all, let's talk about Toronto. And you falling off a cage with barbed wire wrapped around the top of it. Let's talk about that. We can always get there. The Gargano rivalry itself.
Of course. Yeah, so I don't know how I end up falling into a position like this, literally and figuratively, but I hate heights.
Yeah,
with a passion. Anytime I'm on top of a cage and have to fall, it always, you think it's not as high as it is until you get up there. And
when
literally,
you stand up.
Yeah,
and you're just like,
exactly. It's like a shaky feeling that you get. And I've done it now, even in NXT, that's like my third time falling off the top of a cage. But that one specifically was even scarier because it's just a free fall. Almost.
Yeah.
Like before I had gotten superplexed, and then another one was a version of a superplex in the back-to-back War Games. But this one, just kind of free-falling with somebody else, was, oh man, it was scary. But we knew it was the end of the trilogy, so we knew we had to leave people a memorable one and give them something that they talked about. So it had to be done. It had to be done.
No, for me, I've always seen, we came up together, but you were, at the time, you were, skyrocketing, your career was taking off, I was just coming up. I've always seen you in high-pressure situations, matches. You know, that's all I've ever learned from you.
Yeah.
For me, it's when people put, especially companies, every company, they put so much pressure on your shoulders. How do you deal with that?
Fortunately for me, I've always put an insane amount of pressure on myself.
Right.
So, of course, when you have other people relying on you or expecting something out of you, that adds to the pressure. But in the beginning, when it first started happening, when I would challenge for a championship or be in the main event, I felt like I wanted to run away. I was like,
that feeling.
Maybe I'll just leave and then I'll never have to deal with this feeling again.
But Alistair said the same thing when he was on here. That feeling of I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But then, like anything with repetition, when you do it over and over and over again, the pressure and the nerves are still there, but it gets a little bit easier each time.
Yeah.
So just for me, fortunately, I've been fortunate enough to be put in a position where I kind of have been thrown into high pressure situations for years.
Early on.
So it's helped me a ton going forward as far as dealing with that.
Man, like I didn't get that. I didn't get to start getting those till like later.
Yeah.
Like, I was probably like my 7th year. I'm in 10 years in wrestling. This is like my 7th year is when I started getting those high pressure situations. And the first person I started thinking about was you.
Oh, cool.
Because like going to like all these shows, like I'd be in car rides with you, or I'd be in the backstage, and I was watching you deliver, and I'm like, I need to get there, and that always pushed me. Like you,
That's
Sammy, you two guys always pushed me to want to get into that position. To like I want to be the guy to deliver when called upon. So like that's just like a testament to like what you've done, who you are to me, and where I see you in my eyes as a role model for pushing me. Like now we're here together.
Right.
See,
Exactly.
so it's like coming full circle as a story. But like
That's
talk
awesome.
about like man coming from where's the city and state?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Hey, where I happened to graduate and you did too.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to Mannheim.
Yeah.
I went to
Mannheim
Donegal.
Central and Donegal. Rival schools.
Yeah, we sucked. So it wasn't much of a rivalry. No, we
Y'all
got
just got murdered
we got our
everywhere.
asses
Right.
whooped
Wow.
all the time. Oh, actually, my senior year, we actually had a pretty decent. We went 6-4 in football.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Why you laughing?
Come on, that's not
Yo,
bad.
laughing at dog.
Why you laughing?
Bruh.
Why you laughing? I just want to let you know. I didn't laugh until he laughed first.
Who's your team?
Who?
What was it? You finna say the Packers or something?
Who? The Titans?
Yeah.
Oh,
We 8
dang.
and 8, bro.
Yeah. At least we went above 500. Fool.
Hey, bro. We made the playoffs.
With an 8-8. Look at y'all. Division trash.
We lost to Tom Brady. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Everybody
touche.
loses to Tom Brady. What
Touche
you mean?
that, man.
Yeah, everyone does.
Everyone loses to him.
Yeah, so.
But
like,
yeah, I remember actually hearing about you when you had first started training because one of my cousin's friends at the time had mentioned that she had seen you or told me about that you were starting to train and that you really wanted to kind of better yourself.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing about that and being so blown away that there was another wrestler in Lancaster.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, seriously, it's very, very few and far between. So I remember meeting you really early on, and then you started training at CZW and then getting on shows, and then kind of seeing you travel all over the country and build a name for yourself was so cool for me. So I was like, I've known him forever.
I'll never get the story. Like, I always tell the story, but, like, this is my first time telling it here. Like, it was literally, I came from Richmond, Virginia, Ground Zero Wrestling. The wrestling school doesn't exist anymore. The promotion doesn't exist. They closed down last year. But I started training down there, and this was between, like, at the same time, like, managing a job. My firstborn, who's 10 now.
Right.
School, military, and training to wrestle. So I sacrificed school to put it more towards wrestling. And then moving up from that, after training for like a year, I moved up back to Pennsylvania. And I came to Hanover, and I watched you wrestle Joe Gacy, who's Evolve Unwanted, shout out. And I was like, oh, these guys are awesome. And I found you on Facebook and messaged you. You didn't get back to me for like 3 months. And I was like...
Anyone who knows me knows that I am the worst when it comes to responding to social media messages.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it.
But you were in the UK at the time. You were doing the Dixon tours at the time.
Oh, okay.
So,
So really it was a month and a half it took me to get back to you.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, I looked at that message every day like...
Come on.
Come on.
But, yeah, like... But you said you watched my match and it just gave me all these pages of notes of what you liked, didn't like, could do better, and then you brought me to CZW, and then so that's what I'm like in the entertainment business. How many guys come for the opportunity when somebody's like making moves in the industry? Actually answer the call when they get those opportunities.
It's very rare, bro.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
It's very rare.
Especially go out of their way to get them.
Yeah.
Because what I can't stand is when people offer something and they want the person that offers it to do all the work for them.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Exactly.
And not just entertainment and wrestling.
But I do remember that message, and I remember, and this is the case for anybody who shows any sort of passion or potential or just love for this. That was the big reason that my response was so long and just filled with information, because I could tell that it was something you were going to listen to, or at least I would know based on kind of everything going forward from that first time. But that's why it was always so easy with you, because you were someone that, again, I saw a lot of potential in, but more importantly, a ton of passion. So I'm willing to help anybody who shows, if you got a level head and you got passion for this, I'm willing to help anybody.
Yeah, and that goes to just anybody aspiring to do anything.
In anything.
Anything.
Exactly.
Just be level-minded, man. Have a good attitude about it, man. So going into where did Adam Cole Bay come from?
Yeah.
Yes, we got to talk about that.
Sure. So for me, I was a heel really early in my career, and I remember being at a Maryland Championship Wrestling show and seeing Joey Matthews, who was Joey Mercury in WWE. He was doing this thing where he was beating, I don't even remember who he was wrestling, but he was beating up a babyface, and then he would just stop like 5 or 6 times in the match and throw his arms up and go, Joey Matthews! Just over and over again. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. Like the
You're
fans,
not going to forget his name by the end of the
Exactly.
No
Someone
way.
could watch that whole show, not be a wrestling fan, but go, yeah, that Joey Matthews guy was really annoying.
Yep. Genius.
Just over and over again. And it was getting more and more heat as it went on. So then I just added Bebe to the end of mine. Just because, Chris Jericho's, come on, baby, I thought was so hilarious. So I was like, how can I make it my own? I kind of always had the 2 fingers thing. But early on, this is the most interesting part to me, because people don't realize the story of it. For years, I would do it, like 6 years, and people would just boo. Or people would be so mad that I was doing it. And it was something I did multiple times in a match. It took, 6 or 7 years for it to actually get over, and people started doing it with me. Before that, it was just something I did in the heat to kind of fill some time.
Committed to it, though.
Right. I did.
Like, they're not liking it. I'm changing it up.
I'm changing it up.
Right. I believe in this.
I am doing it.
Stuck with it.
They're going to remember my
Especially
name.
people going like, hey, they're not reacting to it. They're going to.
Right.
They're going to.
Well,
just give it time.
And the funny thing, again, it started as something where when I would do it and they would boo, I was happy. I'm like, oh, good, this is exactly what I want. So again, it just morphed into something more than that as time had kind of gone on.
It's funny how that works.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting the signal.
Okay.
To cut off IG Live.
Oh.
If
We
you
gotta
wanna
get going.
If you want to see the rest of this interview, you're going to have to subscribe to, what is it, Tease?
YouTube.com/Swerve City Podcast.
Go to YouTube, guys.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Give them a little view of that.
Right there. Of course.
Swerve City Podcast, YouTube.com/Swerve
There it is.
City
Yeah.
Podcast.
If you can't spell it.
There we go.
Yeah, so please subscribe.
Subscribe, please.
Peace, y'all.
Thank you for the subscribers that are already watching. Appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how to turn it. Oh. And now.
That
Boom.
dude's just
And then
joined.
just
Sorry,
share the-
bro.
Sorry,
Share the
bro.
story.
Sorry, buddy.
Shared a story? Okay.
Boom.
All right. I did it. I am not... Do you think based
have
on the video games that I play?
computers at that house.
It was my first Instagram live ever of all time.
Oh, God.
So.
Alienware is totally different from.
That's way more complex than a
Right.
phone.
Yeah,
Or social media.
I'm
not judging.
It's a lack of knowledge. Now I learned. Now I'll be able to do it next time. No
Learning.
problem.
You learn. I mean, I can't do what those guys do.
Because
Those
about that,
guys
we
are
try to play
amazing at that. They
Civilization.
do.
Sim City.
Yeah, so let's turn it over to Teasy's table.
Cool.
Okay, man. First thing I have to say is, speaking of MCW, 2015 was the first time I actually met both of you guys face to face. I did a theme song live for a certain wrestler, and I remember I was walking backstage. I was nervous. First time ever performing live, doing any music at a wrestling event. So
And MCW's crowds are.
they were rough too. So
Yeah.
I walked to the back and I'm walking past her and I see you. And he was like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? And mind you, I'm like nervous. My first time ever being backstage or anything like that. So I'm nervous. I'm sitting there and then I go out to perform and he's in the match. He's one of the opponents. Swerve is one of the opponents.
Leo.
Oh, yeah.
And performing and things of that nature. And I just never forgot how cool you was to meet, because I didn't know. And, in the entertainment business, you meet all kinds of people.
Yep.
So I personally want to thank you first for being a good dude.
Oh, of course.
And the first interactions of me first getting into business, definitely giving me you didn't know me from Brick of Woods, but
Sure.
just saying hello and being a good dude, man, I definitely appreciated that.
Oh, thank you, man.
And this guy here has become my brother, and...
Well, but it's the same way, like, the way he says, like, how he always offered to help someone that had a good head on them and were passionate and had a good spirit about it. I've always tried to do the same thing. I've done it with, like, Leo. I've done it with, like, Desmond Xavier. Like, anybody that was, like, willing to just, like, yo, I want to get better, and I'm willing to go out of my way to get better. Like, and I always just pass it on. I'm like, yo, my man is, like, super talented, was willing to come all the way from Tampa for like weeks on end, every week, to just like put on like a podcast Phantom podcast. We were just coming up, do music and stuff. So yeah, like
that's the thing. And this is like just a general thing, but I like to be around good people, and I generally do believe that everyone is pretty decent. So just saying hello to someone and actually chatting with them, it's amazing how many people that you run into.
Around bad people?
I've been pretty lucky about being around bad people, but generally speaking, I kind of shut down. I'm someone who, if I'm around someone that's either annoying me or rude or whatever it is, I kind of just avoid the situation or try to get out of it.
I'm the same way.
I go the other way. I like cower and I'm like, okay, I got to get out of this situation.
Right. Because it's going to exit real quick.
Right.
Because there's people, being in your position, there's always somebody that wants something from you.
Sure.
Right.
And they want to either just get near you to get what you have, just whatever, like they can pull something from you as far as like fame or like attention or some type of admiration. Right. They're going to try to get to you. Do you sense that sometimes from people and like?
I'm being totally honest. I'm actually amazed at how much that doesn't exist in wrestling. At least the people that I've been around. Like, of course, you'll have scenarios where some people aren't level-headed. They're either egotistical, which blows my mind that in pro wrestling someone can be egotistical. Or again, just generally like a negative person. But seriously, that doesn't happen too often. Yeah. Like, there are people who maybe I wouldn't necessarily like to be in a car with for 10 hours, but still they're okay to be around for 5 minutes a day. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's more of the situation that I'm in. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just super lucky or way too ignorantly optimistic, but I feel like there aren't too many of that, especially in wrestling.
I think sometimes people, like, God casts a halo over people like that. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm going to protect him. Yeah. Keep a strong hold on this man.
Absolutely.
And I think that's how it should, like, hey.
Yeah.
So you put out a tweet not too long ago, speaking about Joyner Lucas and Logic and their music together. And so do you believe like they're one of the best duos when they come together to make music as far as hip hop?
Individually and as a unit, yeah.
Two of your favorites, huh?
I do,
yeah. Speak on it. Yeah. How much of their individual music are you familiar with?
So I'm really bad with like specific names of songs, like horrible. It's just my memories. But like Logic's last 3 albums I've listened to, and Joyner I just recently got into with his "I'm Not Racist" song, and then watching that music video, I was like, this is art. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah. And the way that Joyner goes along with the beat, the way he rides the beat, is he's so good. Lyrically, he's amazing. Those are 2 of my favorites for sure. 2 guys that I listen to. Like, on the way here, I was listening to Logic. So, yeah.
Okay.
I
that
love
last
those
album
guys.
was...
Man, I thought it was awesome.
I enjoyed the first half of it.
That supermarket, bro.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first half of it. But I'm introducing him to Logic because he has a huge library of stuff.
Sure.
Like, he has a lot of mixtapes that you can download and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's just like started hearing like a lot of his features on a lot of other people. Mm-hmm. Man, like, there's a lot. He's a very controversial figure in hip hop right now.
Yeah. The only reason I knew that was the most some positive and then a ton of negative for me putting that tweet out, and I was so surprised. Yeah. I was like, oh man, people are very passionate about not liking this guy.
That's hip hop fans in general. That's entertainment fans. It's not a lot of loyalty in our profession, man.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of fair weather. You know, musically, once they feel something is not of their taste, they will sure let you know about it.
Sure.
But give me your top 5 all time in order. You have to put them in order.
So
it doesn't have to be hip hop either.
It doesn't have to be hip hop.
Sure. Top 5 just musicians in general?
Yeah, musicians. Yeah,
Red Hot Chili Peppers are my favorite band of all time.
My favorite rock band.
I like Incubus a lot as well. Probably Eminem / Jay-Z. I would just want to say both of them together because I'm going to list
That's like
5.
Rock and Stone Cold.
And then, Joyner and Logic. Those are some of my favorites. I really like J. Cole.
Cole's amazing.
Yeah. Big Sean's last album I thought was, or maybe it was 2 albums ago, the one that No Favors with Eminem was such a good song. Such a good song. He hates it. He hates it.
That's my guy.
That's his guy.
That's my guy.
Love him too.
God, I love him to death.
It's weird. Like, Red Hot Chili Peppers are my favorite band, but hip hop is for sure my favorite genre. It's like what I listen to the most. Whether I'm like getting ready for a match or working out or driving in a car when I'm not listening to podcasts.
Right.
It's always hip hop.
Are you a Kendrick guy?
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did I?
That's my favorite rapper right now.
Yeah. Kendrick Lamar. is right up there as well. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Is
he's awesome.
anybody like underground that people should check out that people don't really that you might heard, like somebody that is on the come up?
I'm trying to think of someone that I've listened to that isn't.
Big Sean.
He's still over there.
Sean's
He over there in his feelings.
I
I'm trying to let him be, but he's just over there like, oh my God.
Yeah. He's so amazing, but so many people hate him, and he keeps putting out bad projects. And I'm like, I was there when it started just slipping, and I was like, what are we doing? It was an us thing at that time too.
Right.
When you're attached to an artist, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You can always tell when he gets all so, like, in love and flustered and stuff. He started lighting up right here. Not getting red, but just like a lighter brown.
I turned into Charlemagne and get done.
Yeah, it's like high pressure points. I'm sensitive about my Big Sean.
I would actually be very interested to know of other underground artists that you know, because, again, I would love to
he's
listen
the
to
one,
him.
Actually. He's a guy.
Yeah.
I
would love it.
Guy knows,
I love stuff that, again, that you can listen to, and not only is the beat really good, of course I like a good beat, but lyrically, it's so smart and cunning in different ways, or like a story that they tell. Again, the I'm Not Racist song was fascinating to me. And watching the music video with it, I remember showing my mom that music video because I was so touched by it. I was like, this is so good. So good. It was awesome.
great.
I love a good lyricist.
Join us.
Amazing.
That's why I love Common.
Kendrick,
I love
again,
Common.
another good
That's
one.
my man. That's my dude.
Do you think hip hop artists have like a shorter shelf life? Because we talked about this in how rock bands can travel and tour 30, 40 years doing the same music.
Right.
Haven't made a new song in 20 years.
Haven't made a new song in 20 years. They're doing the same old hits.
Queen's just out with
Queen,
Adam Lambert. Yeah.
Rolling Stones is still out there. Aerosmith still touring.
Don't got the
Yeah.
same
Metallica.
team anymore.
I never thought of it that way.
But hip hop artists is
That
almost like
doesn't
We die out and we're like running backs.
yeah, in the NFL,
We got
like
3 years.
yeah.
Trade him.
Run the ball 20 times. All right, you're done.
He's done.
That's kind of a shame, huh?
Playing
I
hard
feel
on
like
turf.
Yeah.
the songs are just as good as the rock songs, if not better.
Think of somebody that you listened that was hot 5 years ago that just aren't
Just fell off.
Just phased
Yeah.
away.
5 years ago. Just think of 5 years ago. That's 2004. I can't do math. 2014. 2014. Who's hot? That was then. That's just like
Imagine trying to do
nowhere
it
to be
even.
found now.
Like Trinidad
Yeah.
James.
Waka Flocka.
Yeah.
Go. He already said he wasn't a good rapper at all.
Yeah,
so
like-
he admitted that.
Where's Roscoe Dash? Bring me some of that back. Where the franchise boys?
That's so true.
Where's the Party Like a Rock Star guys?
That's so
Party
true.
boys, right?
Yeah,
Totally do.
Like our shelf life, you get that moment, and then if you don't have,
They go.
I never noticed that until I
That's
started
a
talking to
shame.
him about it.
I hadn't even thought about that until
Yeah,
you said that.
short life. It's like a short
They don't make
shelf
him like
life, man.
Jay-Z no more.
Because
No.
I'll still
Yeah.
listen to like the older songs, but yeah, when you think about them going on tour and
Yeah.
making new stuff or going and rapping their older songs, that's few and far between.
Technically, hip hop, as far as in the record books, just turned 60. So
Okay.
60 years. 60
No
yes.
way.
Melly Mel was the Message. That's considered the first.
That's the 70s.
That's the-
Oh, cool.
That's
that-
the late 70s though.
Yeah, that's gonna be like what?
That's like
40.
60. If you go back, what
50.
50?
That's like 50 years.
50, yeah. So if you go back to that time,
My
what
dad's older than hip-hop.
late 70s, yeah.
Yeah. My
So
parents are older than hip hop.
I mean-
so it's still like a very young music genre.
yeah.
You forget how, yeah, gosh, that's so true. That's so true. I've said this is totally off topic, but that was me thinking the other day about I was doing like a history of video games lesson and how not old video games are and how much they've progressed in such a short time.
Yeah.
It's bizarre to me.
Yeah, PlayStation's only
I mean-
20 years old.
Yeah.
The technology keeps rising.
I know.
So it's just like,
so fast.
you're like, oh, okay, something new. Okay, something new. It has to get better. And
Yeah.
like the evolution is quick.
All the time.
It's quicker. The turnaround.
It's
quicker.
true.
It's quicker now. Back in the day, you're just like, okay, you can let something ride for a long time because they didn't have a lot of technology. Cool. This genre's cool. Like disco, 70s. Let's go.
Yeah.
But
And
like,
then R&B comes in.
it's
It's slow.
everything's
you know?
trendy now. Like
Yeah.
Like I was when I was on vacation with my sisters, and like I was like talking to them. I was asking them like, "Hey, you listen to that one album? I heard a couple songs." I was like, "Hey, you listen to that one album? I heard a couple songs." I'm like, nobody listen to albums anymore.
Right.
No.
They just like put on Pandora and let the songs just
It's
come
true.
up.
Yeah.
Or they make playlists. I'm like,
They
no, listen
download
to
the
whole
ones with the
albums.
stars next to it. That's the ones that's going to be on the radio.
Yeah, right.
So the rest
Bring
of the
up a song
songs,
that's
we
like
don't
this
care.
artist.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like, when was the last time you actually sat down and listened to a whole album all the way through?
I will say though, it is cool to find other artists doing the like create station thing or create a playlist, because I think that's actually how I found Johnner.
Yeah.
From that, I was listening to like an Eminem song, and one of his songs came up, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's really good." And then, that's a great song. That's one of my favorite on that new one. But yeah. So it's helpful in that sense.
It is. And I think that's what the system's for, finding other streamable artists, because they make money from them.
Yep. So, it blew my mind. Just again talking about Johnner, it blew my mind that he has like 275,000 Twitter followers. How does that guy not have 5 million? It blows my mind.
And another funny thing, like those guys don't do like music video awards performances. They don't do like the BET Awards. They don't do VH1 like award shows or the Kids' Choice Awards. They don't do those things. A lot of the matter of fact, and those what I've been seeing, I haven't been seeing a lot of hip hop artists on those shows. Period.
No, a whole lot of pop.
There's a whole lot of pop.
Oh yeah,
and no dirty pop.
All over. Dirty pop.
Right.
I've been seeing K-pop on American award shows. I'm like, what are we doing? I mean, I'm like, that's the great testament to them. They're getting on American tour.
Sure,
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's amazing.
But I'm like, we don't have our own music. Like MTV, we don't even have like music videos.
Music videos, the
K-pop
box music channel.
takeover, bro.
I miss
Nothing,
music
man.
videos.
You gotta go on YouTube now.
Yeah,
That's the only
now.
way.
Yep.
And then they got all those ads. Stupid Vivo, whatever. It's called.
I know.
Yeah.
So there's
It's the devil.
I'm hoping they don't figure this out, but my MacBook Pro has like a touch bar, like right underneath it, and I can skip all the commercials when I just drag it.
Oh.
It's the coolest piece of technology ever. I'll open a YouTube video and it's a guaranteed you have to watch it for 15 seconds, and all I got to do is touch the touch bar, and it ends the commercial. But Apple can't find out about this. It's a glitch in the system.
I'm gonna take that mug out of you.
Edit, post
And
edit.
the post is gonna be like,
Post
I
edit.
shouldn't be saying this, but
Yes,
yeah. So I hope they don't find out.
because it needs to stay around.
That's a good idea.
Speaking of, this is a good time to segue over. I can't say segue. What is wrong with me?
Segue.
Actually, no. This is Swole's World, so this is a swagway over to you.
Fancy.
Damn.
Over here about the techie.
Well, actually, before we divulge into that,
What do you
I got something to say. Look,
Something to say.
something to say.
Oh.
All right. So, I met you like 8 years ago.
Yep. That
Like
sounds right.
way throwback. And I remember always like looking up, and you just had this Playboy, and I was like, "Oh, Sash, who's that guy?"
He had a Playboy. What?
He had this Playboy like
Oh.
image or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was real dope. And I guess when he was like dating me, it was like the coolest little thing ever.
Panama City Playboy.
Right.
Yeah.
It was really dope. But when I remember when I first met you, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he's cool," and we had that little like dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like that guy's gonna be super important. So just like, okay, whatever. And then fast forward, like you keep blowing up, and then I remember us having this conversation. You literally like was right here, and you were like, "Hey, you need to stay with Cedric. You guys belong together. No matter what you freaking do, you need to stay with him. He's like, he needs you." And I would replay that over and over, like when he used to get on my nerves.
Yeah.
And when I was like, I feel like he's telling the truth. Austin wouldn't lie to me like this. I feel like this is right. And lo and behold, boom, now we're married, and we got our little daughter, so I always tell him, like, you owe Austin a whole hell of a lot, because if he wouldn't have said that, he probably would have been like, bump you, I'm gone.
We're watching
That's
trash gear on
amazing.
TV every week. If you would,
That's amazing.
Right.
And I stand by that, by the way.
Exactly,
I love
like
the both of you. You guys need to be together.
Thank you.
You need to be together.
He needed
That's
me.
amazing.
Right.
The matchmaker.
Yeah.
Not really.
The
you wrote it,
influencer.
but-
The
Influence this whole
influencer.
room right here.
The
Everybody
influencer.
has a story.
Right.
Yeah.
About
He gave us
Nicole.
the best advice. I don't remember Rowdy's
That's awesome.
advice, but your
Right.
advice was the best one.
How are you ever going to get heat after
That's
this
great.
interview?
Right. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
When did you host that thing where we were like...
with Justin LeBar.
Yeah, with Justin LeBar.
I met him twice then. Yeah.
When I was hosting
I was actually
what?
shooting that for him, and it was... what's my man? Big dude. Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn.
It was like some Wingstop or some spot.
It was WrestleMania weekend in Orlando.
Here in Orlando. And you came in and you're like, and everyone like popped for you. I was like, hey, who's this guy? I was like, he seems cool. Got cool energy from him. He's like, I'm going to eat some wings. I was like, okay, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. Cool. I do love me some hot wings. That hasn't changed. I could eat them every day.
Yeah.
I won't do it, but I could.
Oh, so that's going to be our tradition now. If like I'm not on the road and there's a pay-per-view going on, everybody just comes over and we go to Wingstop.
Oh,
literally
perfect.
like
good wings.
30-second drive right there.
Good.
So that's going to be our tradition.
Delicious.
I love food.
An ice cold adult beverage with a dozen wings is maybe the best.
I still have never had an adult beverage.
Oh.
Yeah, never had one.
Yeah, don't bother. It's overrated. The wings are better.
Yeah.
The wings are better.
Wings are better.
I have a child's taste buds. You know, I like candy.
So do you not like coffee and stuff like that?
I like coffee. I drink coffee all the time, but like that's the strongest my beverage will go.
Fair enough.
Like a coffee or a Red Bull.
Are you more of an energy drink or coffee guy? You had to pick.
Late night, it has to be energy drink before driving 3 hours.
But waking up in the morning, brewing a pot of coffee is the best.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
the
best part of
I'm
waking
the
up.
same way.
Right.
So you just got a man cave.
Right.
Created.
Yes.
I did. I'm calling it the Game Cave.
Game cave. What's in it?
The whole room is dedicated to video games. So I'm in the process now. A couple of the items aren't there yet, but it's a reclining love seat with a Nintendo controller blanket over the top. Two video game pillows, a video game rug. There are 2 shelves beside it. One has a bunch of boxes of like controllers and headsets all set up. The other side is all the console boxes all set up on display. I have a new LG OLED TV that makes everything look so sharp.
That 4K, huh?
Oh yeah. My first 4K TV, I love it.
I love it.
I have all my consoles set up. I have a little PC station over on the side with my VR headset, and then my pride and joy is my brand new giant personal arcade machine, 4-player.
Damn, Triple H.
With Bose speakers in it.
Hey, Bose speakers.
It's amazing.
Some good quality stuff.
I'm a different tax bracket than all 3 of these people at this table. I ain't got nothing to do
So
with that.
when you did this arcade, did you have it special made? Like it has a RetroPie in it?
Yeah, so it's off of Etsy. It's amazing how many cool things that you can get. But yeah, this guy custom makes them and sets them up for you. It's real sweet. Real sweet. And I had to get 4-player, so a bunch of other people could play. Even though it's just going to be me. It's just going to end up
You're not going to have more people in there?
Oh, no, I will. But generally, it's going to be me playing Pac-Man for 2 hours.
Oh, true.
Trying to beat my
This is cool because somebody would come over, you'd have the key to go in the system and then just
Right.
rig it to make sure that you win all the time.
Just reset the high scores.
That's a great idea.
Hey, I beat your score. No, you didn't.
One of the coolest things about it, though, is it has like LED lights on it as well, and the speakers are like great speakers. So like having a party would be sweet just to have that thing on and like game stuff playing in the background. At least it'd be cool to me.
I'd be cool to everybody.
Yeah.
Pac-Man's your go-to?
Or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in Time. That's another good one.
Yes.
But it's like for now I'm just trying out a bunch of different ones like Asteroids and Pac-Man and that one. Playing Soul Calibur was really cool. So many different
Original
options.
Soul Calibur?
Yeah. Really, really cool games. So it's overwhelming.
12, you said 1,200?
12,000.
12,000. Jeez, so you have like every game under the sun.
Every game that's ever been invented before the year 2000. No, it's not actually true, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm like, they got Red Dead 2 on there?
It's really yeah, right.
Y'all got the 2K? Y'all got the 2K?
Yeah.
Right. It's awesome. It's so cool.
Which system is your favorite to play? No.
It's so hard for me to pick a favorite because I love them all so much. The Xbox One was my first system that I actually bought. So I've casually played video games my whole life. Yeah. Like my first memory ever in my entire life was watching my dad play Road Rash on the Sega Genesis. And I've always been around games, but I kind of casually played them my whole life. Whereas I was the one who was super obsessed with wrestling, and my brother was the one who was obsessed with video games. Mm-hmm. But just until like 2015 is when I got obsessed and super into them. So Xbox was the first one that I played or that I bought. But I love my PS4. I love my Switch. The Switch is so great for the road.
Yeah, it's for the
I've still got played on the Switch. Yet.
Oh, it's the best. It changes
awesome.
road life.
That's
so
Splatoon and that Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
it gets you in there.
Yeah, it's great.
Well,
at some point, I'm going to get a Vanguard. At some point.
Yeah. That thing is so worth it.
Oh yeah.
That's so worth it. That's awesome.
The game case.
Yeah, it has the
with a
actual
screen in
TV
it, and you can just plug your Xbox in the wall at the
plug it
hotel.
and go.
You worked
It's
at a
awesome.
GameStop. You should know this.
Right.
They do have the backpack.
They called it a
one,
gym's.
Really?
I think so. I feel like that would be more convenient.
They have the backpack one too.
They do have those.
They
Okay.
do have
Yeah,
those.
I feel like that would be super convenient.
Yeah.
I gotta really think about that.
I think they got like a
I gotta think how
22
many things
display,
are not
too.
going to get done if I have that.
You're right.
Yeah. I'm like, I can get done tomorrow at 4 a.m. Yeah.
So many times that's happened to me on the road where I'll get to the hotel early and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'll get 8 hours of sleep if I go to bed right now. Let me play a little bit of Nintendo Switch. And then it ends up being 4 hours that night because I'm up playing Super Mario Maker 2,
like
trying to get this level.
I've had to ban Cedric taking stuff because I'm like, no. Like he bought this little mini projector and it's just like, no, you will never get any sleep because you're just gonna be on your Xbox One or your PlayStation.
Mine is the gym. I always try to squeeze my gym time. I'm like, if I play a little bit of this, I got an hour and 30 at the gym.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, we're at 45 minutes left of the gym time. I'm like,
Let's go. Let's go.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, 3 sets. All right, I'm back. That's all I get left in.
That's true. But yeah, that's my number one hobby for sure. Like anytime I'm not wrestling or not on the road, I'm playing every day that I'm home. It's just such a, like I'll even with Britt, because she has to be up so early for work at her dentist job. And I'll go and we'll lay together before she falls asleep. And then when she falls asleep, I get out of bed and go up and game till 2 a.m.
My man.
Every night.
I'll put you to sleep, babe.
Striking
But however, I'm out of here.
Yep. That's
Very striking Viper's life.
That's my routine.
Hey, you gotta get in when you can.
Yo, so I watched Above Down Down, and I saw that you beat all 3 Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
You can add Sekiro to the list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my number one gaming accomplishment for sure.
I'm afraid to even attempt those games.
They're hard, but they are.
Dark Souls.
They are the most rewarding game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a grown man, and I remember being stuck on this boss for 2 hours, and it was middle of the night, and at 3 a.m. I jumped. I'm like, yes! So amped, so excited that I won. It's so fun. Really,
when you
really
finally
fun.
go through that game that you've been wanting to get through.
Yeah.
Like mine has been Fatal Frame. When I finally got through all 3 of them, and I was just like, come on, don't be no B-word about this. You go on, let's man up. Just
The
look,
best,
it's that stupid camera, man. It's like,
it's a scary game.
It's
a scary game.
That damn camera, it's so scary.
The
that
best-
Crimson Butterfly.
Oh yeah.
God.
Oh yeah. The best part about the Dark Souls games though is that they're fair. Like if you lose or die in the game, it's not because the game decided to throw 20 enemies at you or there's no difficulty. It's the same difficulty no matter what for everyone who plays. So it's hard across the board. But if you win, it's because you played perfectly, and they kind of demand that of you.
Yeah.
I wish Madden was like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really do. I really do.
Speaking of horror, have you done virtual reality horror yet?
Yeah, on the PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't do it.
I can't. I opened the door
Like
to
anxiety,
leave,
like-
and I was like,
Or it's just-
I went back and went to the little kitty game so I could see all the colors. I was
That's right. Yep.
Oh no!
I played
don't do that.
PT, and I was like,
Oh,
and that-
brother,
no.
that
listen.
alone
Time
messed
out.
me up.
Time out.
Oh,
That game's still.
And it's just a demo.
It's just
Just a demo. Yep.
just a demo. Crazy.
You can't download it anymore, can you?
No.
No, you can't.
Nope,
if
it's
it's
gone.
on your thing, then I
Keep it, yeah.
keep it. But otherwise,
Nope,
no.
nope. God
you
got
can't
rid
get
of
on-
that. I was like, nope. I remember it was like a Thanksgiving last year. Like all of my sister-in-law's families upstairs, and I was like, hey, who wants to come downstairs and watch this game? So like eight of them, like adults, like they don't know video games,
Right.
So they're like, oh yeah, okay, let's go see it. So we turned the lights off, like, what is this? What's going on now? What's going on?
Send
Don't go
the
to the
move.
door.
I don't like this.
Right.
I don't like this.
Stop it.
Turn them on.
What's gonna happen? And then the lady grabs the camera. I was like, oh! Shot upstairs. Freaked out. I was like, yeah.
They keep all them Silent Hill ones. All right. Look.
What's the other one?
And Evil Within.
No, not that one. What's the other one?
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
It's the game that honestly Resident Evil 7 took the idea from.
Yeah, exactly.
Outlast.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Another one with a camera. You can't fight back. You just have to run.
Yeah.
I'm like,
There's something too about that. Like I generally really like horror games, but the scariest ones are the ones where you can't fight back.
Yeah.
If you just have a camera, or when you level up or power up in those other games, and you have a shotgun. You're like, I'm not afraid of anything.
You know what old game I used to play that used to scare the mess out of me, and it's the stupidest thing. Alan Wake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Alan Wake was terrifying me a little. It was like, I'm trying to run to the next light. Like,
right.
Oh man.
I'm trying to think of a scary
Get that-
game.
get
when I
that
was
boom,
younger.
So the scary game for me when I was younger was Resident Evil 2.
That's
I remember.
Them
I
dogs.
was so scared.
It's PlayStation 1, right?
Yeah. And I remember it took me forever because I was, again, super young at the time, but I couldn't even figure out how to get past the first part. Like how you had to press X to open a door, but the door wasn't marked. So I was just walking around in the street like, what do I do? Could not figure it out.
Going for
I remember the first time we opened the door, it was like, so amped.
Wasn't it the cutscene that was like,
Yeah.
walk through? Oh,
did the slow
that
loading
freaked me
doors.
out.
I freak
Oh,
out,
yeah.
and you just like can't watch your six,
Oh,
and you're just
yeah.
like, I know something's behind, but I'm trying to look
Right.
around.
House of the Dead. House of the Dead.
House of the Dead was good.
House of
My
the
my
Dead.
grandma played that because my grandma owned the Dreamcast. Yeah, like
Did you have a light gun or did you just play it on the
No, we had no
controller?
controller.
Okay, cool.
Like my grandma, I swear to God, like she had a Dreamcast. Me and my cousin Devin, Jordan, we always hung out together. Like when we had Saturday or Friday off school, that night we would go to my grandma's. We'd all she would just get the Dreamcast because she's the only one that had a Dreamcast.
Right.
And Virtua Tennis. We played the hell out of Virtua Tennis,
Yep.
which was great. Fighting Force,
Hey,
God, I love Fighting
Force
Force.
was great.
That is my game.
Power Stone.
Power Stone.
Power Stone was great.
I still have that. Power Stone 1 and 2.
And then my cousin Devin would bring his PlayStation. He had Ninja. Remember Ninja? It was there's a
Ninja Guy?
Not Ninja Gaiden.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a game called Ninja. Like look it up. It was freaking classic, timeless. But we would stay up all night and we would play House of the Dead, and that always freaked me out because the camera would that rail system.
Right.
And then like shoot backwards to look behind you.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, shoot it! It's on you! It's grabbing!" Man, I'll never forget that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reload.
Like, shut up! I know.
Reload.
I'm out of bullets.
That and Time Crisis was really fun in the
Time
arcade
Crisis.
too.
Time Crisis.
And I remember
That's
shooting
been a
the
lot
gun
of
and the gun would actually cock back. I was like, this is so cool.
Have you played the
Had it
new
on the
one? They have
PlayStation
a
3.
new one now. It's
No.
like Time Crisis
PlayStation
7.
I played the 4th one, and when it had like the VR with the gun and
Oh,
everything.
VR?
Yeah, that, yeah.
Oh,
I played
that's
this. I played this one, Time Crisis. I think it was Dave and Buster's. They have a pedal you push, and like so you shoot in, and now your guy goes behind cover. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
goes
yeah.
over. But now your guy has powers now, so you can teleport to the next cover. So you
What
push
in
the
the-
pedal and you switch over to that
What
side.
in the
So when
Tom
enemies are
Clancy
shooting
Ghost
that way-
Recon is this?
That's
I was
Wait
like,
a minute.
this is kind of dope. It's dope,
got
but it's
powers?
kind of dope.
I want arcades to make a comeback. I remember how cool that was to go into an arcade,
Yeah.
just look around.
House of
walk
Dead
around.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
last big arcade game was DDR.
Yeah.
Because I remember
Dance Revolution,
we'd
yeah.
walk and people would just be, around the arcade machine watching this guy who's so good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I had my own little DDR thing at home, or my brother did, and I would play it. Where you'd step on the pad. Yeah, that game was fun. Guitar Hero was fun.
They had
Rock Band
sweatbands.
was fun.
They had towels on the rail, and they were like
Yep.
there. Like
Super
this one dude had
into
a
it.
bucket of change. He was there for
Yeah.
hours.
It's impressive though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of
Who lost
arrows
weight?
at one time. Yeah, I'm sure.
People lost weight.
I'm
Well,
sure.
that's a
Yeah,
plus
classic.
coordination.
Classic. That's true.
So the next
That's
big
true.
game you're looking forward to, you said
Borderlands 3 tonight at midnight. I have it
Clink.
pre-downloaded, ready to go.
also okay.
I've been so into. That's like
Ready.
if I were to pick a top 5 modern video games, Borderlands 2 is definitely in that list. I put so much time into that game, but I'm so excited to play it. So
They don't
so
make
excited.
third-person co-op games like they used to. Like,
I miss
luckily
going
we
over to
still got
somebody's
Gears
house.
of War.
Yeah, right.
I miss going over to
the
somebody's
Tom
house and just
Clancy
sharing the
games.
screen
Yeah.
and beating the game like right there together. I miss that feeling.
The most fun thing about Borderlands, though, is it's what they call a looter shooter, where there's legitimately like a million different guns you can get. Yeah. So if you play for 40 hours and I play for 40 hours, we're both going to have 2 completely different loadouts because the guns are different.
That's awesome.
And it's really funny. Like, the writing is really good. I love the cartoon aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's fun.
What's a game you wish you would have got into that you never did? At this point, you got 12,000, so you probably still.
So I've never played World of Warcraft, and everyone I know.
That's a time consumer, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I've heard people who have played it said they adore it and they love it. Yeah. But it's just something I've never tried that I would like to try. Yep. And if I can manage to not just be consumed by that game, that would be great too.
So are you a Diablo guy?
So Diablo 3 was my first one that I played on the Switch, and
I
like it a lot.
One, right?
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Really they've rehashed it so many times.
I heard the 2 was the best one I heard out of that.
3 was really good. I haven't played 2.
Okay.
I haven't played 2. But...
A game you wish you would have.
I never got into Final Fantasy.
Oh.
Me neither.
I never got into it.
Final Fantasy 7 is one of the best games of all
I
time.
never got into it.
Hey, maybe the remake's coming out, so maybe give that
one. Give that a shot.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of playing the new one they released, and I was like,
15?
Yeah.
I played like the first hour.
Driving on the road, and I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah. I played the first hour of that one, and then some other game came out.
I gameflied it, and I was like,
I am the worst with. There was a phase I went through where I was like playing 10 different games at one time. So now I force myself. I'm like, okay, this is the game you're going to play. This is the one you're going to beat. And then you'll move on to the next one. But my back catalog is awful.
It's trash, isn't it?
Awful. So much to play.
Game you wish you would have played?
Well, my original answer was Assassin's Creed, but I just now gotten into it with Odyssey.
Oh, cool.
So
is that one amazing? I hear it's awesome. That's beautiful.
It's got me going back playing Origins.
I have it right in my library. I never
Origins is great. I love
Origins. Yeah, I'm going back and playing Origins. Like anything that deals with like Egyptian or anything like Mesopotamian, anything like
I keep telling her. I was exhausted.
And Mayan culture.
Oh, you did that back to back?
I was like, I can't do another open world game, so I never got to Odyssey. I was like,
I played Odyssey and Tomb Raider at the same time because I love Greek culture and I love the Mayan culture. Like I studied Mayan for years.
Yeah,
I just beat Tomb Raider. I just beat it.
So good.
I just beat it. The game was amazing.
Have any of you guys played The Witcher 3?
Yes.
That's one I want to get to.
You haven't played it?
No, I have. It's amazing.
When it first came out on PC. And I had it on PlayStation.
To me, it's not my. It's in my top 5 favorites. It's not my number 1 favorite game, but it's the best game that I've ever played, for sure.
It was the best game I've ever
open world game.
Yennefer or
Yennefer. Yep, Yennefer was my pick. Or Trish.
You
Stop
right question asking person, you.
Yennefer all day.
Anyone who plays Witcher 3, you gotta answer that question.
Yep, that's true. It's true.
It's so adorable when
Such
he gets involved.
That game is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I put so much time. The craziest thing about that game was randomly you'll have side quests in games sometimes, but the side quests in that game were like just as good, if not better, than the main story.
That's how I felt about Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, I haven't played that.
Did not like the fighting in that game.
You're trash. Look,
I've heard very good things on it.
Look, listen, sorry.
I'm
very adamant about this Lord of the Rings game. Look, listen, it's the one that it got me into Lord of the Rings. I never watched any of the films until I played that video game, and I was like, I need to know more about this culture. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I need to know about this.
I played the game, I'm like, nope, still don't like it.
Shadow of Mordor, brother.
I wish I would have played Portal.
I have Portal and haven't played it yet.
Did you play Half-Life?
I did Half-Life. I never played Portal. Portal 1 or 2.
1 or 2?
I wish I would have played Portal 2. But then I started looking at it on YouTube and seeing them. I was like,
"Oh man, I know.
I can't do it."
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I see how they complete the levels. I'm like, "There's no way I would have figured that out."
I think that all the time too. I think that all the time.
You know what else? I like Dishonored. It's my like guilty pleasure game.
I started never
like
played
Dishonored.
it all the way through.
I've watched my brother play it, but I've actually never played it myself either.
What's the game that surprised you how good it was?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, well, it didn't really surprise me, but it surprises a ton of people. Halo 5 is my favorite game of all time.
Really?
It's what got me into video games. I remember my brother got the game the day it came out, and that night after he went to bed, I was like, hey, do you mind if I play Halo 5? He goes, yeah, sure. And I was playing it, and I just beat the campaign all in one night. I stayed up till like 6 in the morning. I was like, this game is so much fun. And that's what made me buy an Xbox. Like, my Xbox is the custom Halo 5 Xbox with like the Halo 5 controller. And it's not even like, I understand why people were kind of upset with the campaign, but the game, it just feels good. Like, the way you run and jump and shoot guns, everything just feels so clean and like such a good first-person shooter. I put more time into that game than any other game. So and that surprises a lot of people. A lot of people are like, what, you like The Witcher 3 and Halo 5? That doesn't make sense.
Same for you.
But amazing.
Game that surprised you, how good it was. That you weren't, you picked it up expecting, all right, let me have some fun, but you actually get sucked into the game.
Uncharted 4.
That surprised you?
Mm-hmm. But see, because I played 1, 2, 3, and I was like, okay, it's a good game. But see, I'm a Tomb Raider fanatic. I'm comparing it to. I'm comparing it to Tomb Raider.
Can't do that.
I know, but that's literally like the same thing.
To do it, right.
So
you can't do that. First off, the characters you can't do it because Lara Croft is way more skilled than Nathan Drake. He's just a lucky guy.
True.
That just always catches ledges.
Oh, always.
Strongest fingers in
always
history.
Strongest tips ever, brother. He'd be like, take my strong.
My dude would be like, oh,
got it, Jordan.
Funny thing about that game, like not so much in 4, but the first 2. The enemies you were fighting against, right? They have the best, most accurate throwing grenades of all time. You'd be sitting there and covering, the thing would land
right in front of you.
What? That's the one thing that killed me about that. I was like, this guy's like behind the jungle in the tree. That thing would land like right there. I'm like, gotta run the job.
Some things on Uncharted, though, you'd be like, yo, dude, there's no way he can leave this. Like, there's no way he's going from here to there.
Right.
You Usain Bolt, dude. I'm like, no, stop. Like, that's the only thing that killed me about Drake. But same thing, the game that surprised you.
That surprised me. Actually, to be honest with you, I actually just got into Fallout. Really,
Great.
I wasn't
Not new Fallout.
3.
Fallout 3 is supposed to be the best one.
Because everybody told me about it.
That new Fallout, listen. Oh my God.
Everybody told me about it. I was like, I don't know. Because I really wasn't into those kind of games. And I played it. I was like, this is really good.
Yeah.
You know what else is really good? Sorry, go ahead.
I got another one for the last one. Cool. Game that I wish I would have played that I didn't. No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's for me too.
I really wish I would have got into that. Yep. And a game that surprised me, Bioshock Infinite.
Cool.
Big Daddy.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah. I was like,
I had the entire collection and still haven't played it. That's like my next.
I never got it.
I got to play.
I didn't understand this. I'm a YouTuber. I like to go on YouTube.
You and me both.
Yeah. And see what the hype is about a game or the story or somebody else playing it and playthroughs. I do that all the time. So I never got the hype behind Bioshock.
Yeah.
But then at the time, Infinite was coming out, and I was like, you know what? Actually, it was like a couple months later. So it was like the price was going down. So I was like, let me check it out. And I was like, I'm into this.
I thought you were going to say Last of Us. That's what I thought you were going to say.
No, I love that instantly.
That game.
Yeah.
That's the game that made me buy a PlayStation 4.
As you should.
Last of Us was fire.
Last of Us is fire.
As you should.
What's the game that you can play on repeat over and over, no matter how many times?
Last of Us, for me.
Dying Light.
I'll say something. I was going to say Halo 5, but I feel like that's a cheap answer. So let me think of another. It's so random. It's newer, but I'm addicted to Crash Team Racing, the new one that came out. That game is such an easy pick up and play and do races over and over and over again.
Love that game. That's the most fun racing, as far as comical racing game. To me, I like it more than
the characters.
I like it more than Mario Kart. Me personally.
I think I like it a little bit more than Mario Kart too.
That's your favorite racing game?
As far as the animated ones, cartoons, Burnout was great too.
Burnout was amazing.
That might be my favorite racing game.
Guilty
ever.
Pleasure's split second. Just because I love the explosions and everything, right?
That's in my top 3 games of all time.
Right? It's just you want to put something on, and it's just blow it up.
Okay, I need this.
It reminds me of Ready Player One, when they had the driving for the first thing.
Right.
Yeah, where King Kong pops out of nowhere and ruins stuff, and you're just it's really good. Good for
it was free on Xbox Gold at one point, and I downloaded it because I knew I still haven't played it, but I have it sitting in my library to play. Now I think I'm going to go and try it.
I scooped that up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Split second. I'm going to keep that in mind now.
Split second was really good. Yeah.
Right, so
me and racing games.
So now I'm gonna put a homework assignment out there. All the games that you heard that you haven't gotten around to, or this person that she brought it up, Teasy brought it up, that you may not have played or gotten to yet, you gotta play it.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm
definitely gonna do it.
So I'm gonna play No Man's Sky. I heard it when it first released. It was like it was ridiculous. It was bad.
Yeah.
But I heard it's great now, so I'm gonna go.
I heard the same thing.
Get into that. I'm not gonna do Portal. I don't have the.
Maybe eventually. Maybe eventually.
Did you play Witcher 3? I started it, but I never
That's what I'm gonna play. That's the one I'm gonna
get.
You
should. You really should.
I'm gonna get on that.
It's the best game.
How far did you get?
I was still in the opening. I was training.
That's what you have to get out of the first map, and then the game you become obsessed with it.
But see, this is also after Assassin's Creed Origins.
I get it.
And Red Dead.
You were open worlded out.
Red Dead drained me, bruh.
Drained me. Like
this is why I didn't go to that.
Oh,
I just deleted it off my thing.
I have a question for everybody. If we have time for it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's up to you.
What is the most emotional you've ever gotten from a video game? If you guys want
to go back to play PS2, Metal Gear 3.
Metal Gear 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When she threw me off when Big Boss threw me off that bridge I was like, I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that feeling. And I've been hooked on the series. I went back and played the first one, second one.
Those are such good games. Such
Great
a great
series. My favorite series ever.
Yeah.
My favorite gaming series.
Yeah. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Would you like me to go? Who are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Come back to me.
Emotional, yeah.
So
Snake is the man to me.
Mine, as far as emotion, was I was bawling my eyes out for 15 minutes after this. The end of Telltale's The Walking Dead season 1.
Oh, that's everybody.
Destroyed me.
Listen.
Destroyed me.
Little Clementine, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Listen, I was like...
I was...
Yeah.
I remember walking, and I was living with my brother and my other buddy, roommate at the time. And I remember walking out to go to the bathroom and coming out, and they were still awake, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I was like, yeah, I'm fine. That game just really got me. It was, oh man, I was wrecked.
That's the top.
Wrecked.
That's like the top of Watch Mojo list.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like everyone.
Cool. Yeah.
Like, most game, most horror game, it's on the top.
So
one.
sad. Again, just such great storytelling. It was awesome.
They're not doing those anymore.
You know.
No.
Yeah, they're coming back though.
But there is like a little, but it's from a different.
Yeah, it's different now. Yeah.
It's different.
It's different.
Okay. What about you guys? Do you have something that either made you cry or really mad?
I say it went Heavy Rain.
Oh.
Made me kind of really emotional.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I was like,
Start looking at it like, man, forget that kid. Forget that child.
Yeah, look at that child. Like, what color? I don't know what color shirt he had. I was distraught. I don't know. Look at like, you're like, oh.
The boy, I was like, looking, what am I going to chop my finger off with? That's not going to kill him too bad.
Right. Like,
you just that's not good.
Wow.
Emotional.
Yeah, you just
yeah. Oh, that one got me too.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
They play the scene where you're watching his brother.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could say, because I wasn't really much into like role playing and scary games like that, so I could say the last thing recently that got to me that was pretty bad was Red Dead Redemption 2 with Arthur.
Oh, yep.
That was pretty.
Yep. That one got me really good.
That one got me because I just recently did it, and I was like, why you have to? Like the way he died, so that was there. He turned on him, got turned on. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Right.
That was the last one I could say I was really like, oh damn, I went through all this.
I was waiting to cure that tuberculosis.
I know,
we gonna get through this.
And you like playing through the mission, you know he dying. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, he's like, I'm like, no, get up.
Stop coughing. Look.
To me, games are just as, if not more effective than movies when it comes to emotional investment. It's because you're playing the character. You really do feel like an attachment to that character. So when anything good or bad does happen, lots of times if it's written well, I'm like right there with the character.
I feel guilty because I put him in that situation.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, I did choose to go that route.
Yeah.
Mass Effect did that to me. When everybody started dying at the end.
Oh, that's the game I want to play that I've never played.
Mass Effect 2?
Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole series. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah, 2, but 2, the journey, man, to like go around galaxies to recruit people.
And the gameplay is good too, huh?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's like third-person shooter style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. But you also get like the powers to shoot and like you can upgrade those. But my favorite thing is just like you're going to like these different planets and like they make it everything modern, like a city.
Yeah.
So you go through clubs and the club scenes with aliens and stuff, and you like get into a shootout.
Right.
Like, and I'm like, this is so awesome. I'm
Yeah.
having such a good time.
I've heard it's sweet.
Another game, Deus Ex.
Deus
I had
Ex.
so much fun with that game.
Deus Ex was a good one.
Yeah, the
You know what's
the
good?
last one was
Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs. Was
Sleeping Dogs. Woo!
Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dog was fire.
That is.
Lily,
that
oh,
is-
I'm sorry.
Sleeping Dogs was
I
fire.
got you, bro. Sleeping Dogs.
Come on, baby, no.
Sleeping Dogs was
That's a
fire.
good
Sleeping
one.
Dogs was
Sleeping
great.
Dogs,
That's
bro.
great.
Look,
Great game.
I on occasion be like, look, a man who does not eat pork bun is no longer considered a man. I say that around
Eat
the
that
house. I
pork
love
buns.
it. Eat your pork bun.
Unfortunately, we gotta take this to a close. We gotta let the man go. He has things to do. He has a game cave to tend to.
Gotta
Right.
get to the game cave.
Yes.
Right.
So, and I'm not even gonna ask where they can follow you. You're WWE NXT champion.
Just in case, at Adam Cole Pro is everything. Twitter and
Look
Instagram.
at this man.
So.
And you know where to find them. You know where to find me. But say it anyway.
Teasy Scott, Instagram, Twitter, things of that nature. YouTube.com/Swerve City Podcast as well. Make sure you subscribe.
The Big Swole Instagram. That's DA Big Swole, and then Swole's World Twitter.
And as
Swerve City
always,
Podcast.
be confident in everything you do,
Wash your ass.
Where you gonna get that pop?
baby.
I like it.
Baby.
I like it. Yes.
Yeah. All right.